But to have literally a couple of minutes every episode of shit all happening with Arya, and then just at the end of each season, we get a little bit of Arya. Like last season, she kills the rapist guy. I forgot what his name was now, but that was cool. But the rest of it was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was.
So, at what point does she ask Arya, feeling lucky?
Game of Thrones, season 6. Our opinions, our thoughts on the entire season.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a little bit of a mouthful, just like Alex's banana. But
Season 6, episode 10. It obviously was probably the best end of a season, in my personal opinion, that Game of Thrones has brought out. It was pretty much ridiculous from the start of the show to the end.
starts the episode.
Yeah, the start of the episode was, oh my god. It was about Cersei, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
we start the episode in King's Landing.
Yeah,
in
King's
Westeros.
Landing. And Marjorie and the, oh my god, the high priest of the sparrows or whatever, like
High
the
Sparrow,
lead-
yeah.
the high sparrow dude. They're doing the trial for Cersei. Anyways, Cersei and Marjorie's brother is getting put on trial, and then eventually one of the sparrow dudes leaves, and then he finds out that they're gonna pretty much blow the whole place up with wildfire.
And they do, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And sadly, Marjorie dies. She is my favorite.
And
Well, not my favorite, but I did. Well, probably favorite woman on the show. And then she's gone. It's kind of depressing.
with the sparrow too. So then Cersei pretty much takes control after Tommen jumps out of the tower. But yeah, that's
Which was cool. I didn't expect that.
yeah.
Tommen jumping out. We just looked at the window for like 30 seconds, and all of a sudden he just done,
Jumps out.
dead. And
Done.
Cersei's like, "What the fuck?"
So
well,
yeah,
I don't know.
that was pretty crazy. And then obviously, I'm pretty sure Daenerys and oh my god, I'm gonna say his name wrong again.
Jorah? Or no,
No.
sorry.
Tyrion, fucking Tyrion. Tyrion and them pretty much are talking about coming over and how it's gonna be like a crazy life, and she's gonna have a hard time like adjusting and shit. And then something else happens. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot.
You're on the spot, Sam.
Yeah, totally.
Well,
That part.
Yeah, she basically, her and Tyrion talk about how fucking crazy it's gonna be, and then they get together with Dorne. Oh, well, there's the whole. Was the battle with the dragons in Marine? Was that the episode before?
Yeah,
Okay, so that's not it. But anyways, they're headed towards King's Landing,
yeah,
Dorne, and Dothraki. Everyone involved.
yeah,
Varys is on the ship. He just time traveled. Well, no, they skipped a lot of time, but
yeah.
he just appears on the ship with her, and they're heading there with dragons and tens of thousands of people.
And then we find out that Jon Snow is actually Ned's sister's son, but we don't actually know who his father is, even though there's a whole bunch of rumors.
We
that
suspect, it's the
he's a Targaryen.
Targaryen, the Mad King's son, and he impregnated her, and now she's got Johnny boy. And he's king of the north, which is pretty cool, and probably related to Daenerys in some way.
Yeah.
And they're probably gonna have sex. So,
Incest.
But
yeah, the finale we can agree was
the finale was the best episode.
of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, episode 9. Me and Ansgar are totally different than the whole mainstream audience.
Yeah.
See, episode 9 was totally opposite of how Game of Thrones is. It's pretty much John could do everything wrong in the book. Like every move he made was pretty much wrong, and he lost a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, but he still came out on top and won, even though he was going against an army that was like 3 to 4 times his size, and he just rushes in like an idiot.
Yeah,
and
that
everyone
was
dies.
stupid. Yeah, and the way the battlefield like piled up and shit, I was like, okay, I know it's a show, but that's one too many things going right in this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really weird.
Like in a battlefield, I don't see people like killing people, and then all of a sudden like a big peak happens. Like I don't know how that would happen. Like
yeah, like obviously there's gonna be like there's gonna be dead people everywhere. You're gonna
Yeah,
step
like-
over them, but like then for it to like pile up like and everyone fighting on top instead of like walking around the body, like I don't know. It's
Yeah.
kind of. But and then yeah, like the wall's perfect for Ramsay to then force John's army like against it, and like I don't know, it was just a little too
yeah,
coincidental. And Sansa not telling John at all about Littlefinger.
yeah, it
That
was.
was I
It
don't like
was-
that. But
Anyways, and
So-
then pretty much fuck all happens from 7 to like 2.
we
Nothing.
get Ari. This is the one thing that's a little bit annoying, and right now we're watching Walking Dead, and it's interesting when you're. There you go.
Now I know what we're talking about.
So it's interesting to compare the shows and how they do episodes, because on Walking Dead, sometimes they focus on like 1 or 2 characters for one whole episode, and sometimes it's good and they do it right. Other times it's like, okay, this is a little long, or like not much is happening, blah blah blah. And then Game of Thrones does it the opposite, where they have basically as many characters as The Walking Dead, except they're all in different locations and they jump around, and we get like 1 minute here and 1 minute there, and then before an episode's over, we basically got nowhere. And then next episode, they kind of go through it again.
Yeah,
And
the thing is that's kind of pissed me off was that obviously it's a week. It happens every week. But you'll go back to Ari, and then you'll have like a little like part of her 5-minute scene is the first minute or two rehashing or like re-going over what she just did in the last episode. And it's like everyone at some point had that, but Ari went through probably the hardest, where it was like
Yeah,
there was no story progression at all for her, really.
basically not.
And when I've read about her in the books, she is totally different. Apparently, like her whole like story progression was fucking crazy, and you understand why she's a crazy assassin person when she comes back to King's Landing, when she kills Walter Frey in episode 10.
Yeah, which was also badass. But
Yeah.
again, because of her shit arc in the show, like she just goes from from like this boring arc, and her character honestly suffered from it too. And then all of a sudden she's badass, even though just episodes before that it was like, oh my god, Arya, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she's badass. So it's a little bit like you said, they should have had one full 45-minute episode on Arya in Bravos, and like did like actual time jumps throughout the episode, where like you spend maybe like 10 minutes in a current time period, and then it kind of fast forwards and shows her a couple weeks or months later and how she's improved, and basically just have an episode dedicated to her and the training there. Maybe even 2 episodes in season 5 or something, right? Or split it between 5 and 6.
Yeah.
But to have literally a couple minutes every episode of shit all happening with Arya, and then just at the end of each season we get a little bit of Arya. Like last season she killed the rapist guy, I forgot what his name was now, but that was cool. But the rest of it was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was.
At what point does she ask, Arya feeling lucky? Sorry. You can go on your discussion.
But so Arya, in our personal opinion, her arc,
Our personal.
thank God, is going back to
Yes.
King's Landing and being normal again. The whole faceless god. It was interesting, and like it started kind of like, oh, okay, this place is like interesting and whatever, and then instantly dropped off once it was the same bullshit for pretty much 15 or 17 episodes.
They ruined the faceless god. Like in season 2, when you first see them and you're like, holy shit, they can change faces and this guy's badass, right?
Yeah.
And then like you get the whole Bravos thing for 2 seasons and you're like, fuck this guy and these people. Like this is so boring. And then by the end of it, they're just like normal assassins that fucking kill people for money, and it's like, okay, no, this is lame.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like,
Regular assassins are pretty lame.
yeah, they are, especially the ones that fucking pull faces off.
Sure.
But no, like it just ruined it over the 2 seasons. Like for him, right? Like I thought he was a cooler character, and then there's like whatever. But we also have, well, I guess we had the Battle of Bastards. That was also like the lead up to that was basically just Sansa meeting Jon Snow, which was cool. Like finally they actually immediately got to meeting each other at the beginning of the season instead of like dragging that out. But then we had Sansa all of a sudden again becoming like pretty badass. Jon Snow is revived, and he's just like he always was basically. And
Yeah, if not worse.
like
to a
as
certain-
a strategist or whatever.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know, that strategist.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's why
He was a fairly badass commander. Yeah. He was a pretty he seemed like a fairly decent badass character before, and then he's still John, but I expected him to be a little more edgy. Obviously, you just died.
Yeah.
He's John.
Well, even
He's
his
John.
Yeah, exactly.
even just to jump back really quick to season 5, like even his death was like, John, what the fuck are you doing? Like like you just brought these wildlings in, everyone hates you, and then all of a sudden the kid that got his parents killed from your girlfriend, pretty sure that Ollie or whatever, right? He's like, oh yeah, your uncle's back. Just follow me out in the dark here, and like no, like even that was just so stupid.
So, in my personal opinion, it's kind of tied in. I always thought it was retarded on season 5 on the last episode when he went to go say, "Oh, your uncle's back. He's been gone for how long, and he's supposed to live?" And then all of a sudden, Bran finds him after getting forced out of the cave from the wildlings or whatever, from the Three-Eyed Raven's little cave there, and it was like, why is he back? How did he survive in the wilderness for so long? But yeah, that part was kind of interesting. And then since I brought up Bran, his storyline though, even though it was fairly short and not much happened, a lot of story progression happened
And
from
info,
it.
but yeah.
Like he literally just was a story dump. Like literally, like this John thing happened in episode 10. And then somewhere in the middle, he finds out that his dad's not as honorable as he said.
And also very honorable and protective at the same time, which is weird. Because in a fight that we saw, he obviously wasn't that honorable, and his friend just stabbed the guy in the back. But then when he finds out when John, I guess, is born, he goes as far to tell everybody that he's not.
Sorry, I keep playing footsies with them.
Great. But anyways, like he like lies to his wife, who he loves really much, and basically everybody else, and all to protect John, which is obviously very not just honorable, but So it's interesting. Like you see that Ned was still a good guy, but not as honorable and solid as he was. At the same time, you also find out that he didn't sleep around and stuff like that. That was all made up. So
he's faithful.
Yeah, so that was good at the same time. And so John probably Targaryen. And then what other badass thing? I mean, Cersei's now like an uber badass kind of. Like
but
not badass. Like she's just in a lot of power.
Yeah, like her storyline also.
People, places.
Yes.
But Cersei's whole storyline was fairly like lame till episode 10. Like nothing really happened with her either. It was literally just, oh, I hate the Sparrow. Tommen, why are you fucking going along with him? And then like Tommen was slightly interesting because he would always like go with the Sparrow, but after like literally like the 5th or 6th time, it's like, oh yeah, I have to be, follow the faith of God and blah blah blah. There's two thrones or two people.
Two pillars.
Yeah,
There's the religion, like the gods, and the
king.
kingdom or whatever. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, this is getting ridiculous. But that obviously Tommen had to die because of the whole prophecy with that witch or whatever. But yeah, for the most part, I thought until the last episode, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, this season, like, because the season capped it off with episodes 9 and 8 being these big, not closure, but what do you call it, like payoffs, right? But the payoffs, even though they were epic, didn't feel like rightful payoffs because the rest of the season was pretty inconsistent. And like Littlefinger, I thought was super inconsistent as well. Like you couldn't tell whether he was just stupid all of a sudden or if he was playing.
Yeah.
Like
from a character that we thought was pretty much probably like top 3 smartest people in the whole series.
Just doesn't know anything about Ramsay.
Literally dropped. It seemed that's how it felt. It was like you're supposed to be super smart. And then at the end of season or episode 10, it felt like he's going back up to where he was because it was like Sansa's like, no, I don't want to. I'm not doing what you want. And then he like at the stare he gives Sansa's like, you're gonna fucking pay for this.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's the thing. Like Sansa's his weakness, but at the same time, like just from all the buildup we've had of him in the other seasons of how many spies he has and just how he basically knows everything and can play basically anybody. The way like the conversations he has with Sansa are just so like simple, like melodramatic and like simplistic, and they don't really make any sense. And it's just like for a character like Littlefinger, it's like what the like. And you didn't know about Ramsay, who is like the Boltons are a pretty big play in the show. I mean, they like literally what's Cersei's house again? Lannisters were sent to or were ordered the Boltons to kill the Stark family, and like you have Roose Bolton and Ramsay's his son, and he's also pretty known for the torture and stuff like that. So just to know nothing about that house is like, what? Like you live pretty close to them, like close. You should know something, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know. It was dope.
like yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I couldn't tell whether he was just like lying, like when he was talking to Sansa, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't, know," or whatever. Or if that was him playing her, but at the same time, he didn't really seem to be playing the game that much. So it was just really weird.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it was also coincidental because if he was playing the game and he expected Sansa to come out of this alive, he couldn't have known that. Like Ramsay, like something could have happened and she could have just died.
Yeah, Ramsay's a huge wild card. He was literally just...
So just either way, like logically, either way you go with his logic, it kind of fails or it makes him look kind of weak. So it's like,
yeah,
I don't know. But that's basically sum the season up. I think we thought great ending, but the lead up to the ending and the payoffs that we got weren't deserved of the previous episodes.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. Definitely wasn't that. It's like the last the only great episode was episode 10.
We're back. Probably didn't know we were gone, but camera time ran out. So yeah, Sam, what's your rank of the seasons right now? Where's season 6 fall on this?
I think all the 1 to 4 is probably tied because they're all ridiculous and crazy. I can't really so much happened in the first 4, so it's kind of hard for me to really tell. But I think it would probably go those 4, then 5, and then 6.
Yeah, for me, I agree. The first 4 are basically even though after watching all of them, you could be like, oh, maybe season 4 is a little bit more exciting than season 2 or something or whatever. Like in their time when those seasons came out, each one of them was like, holy shit, what's going on, right? Season 5 for me was a flat line for the most part, and so was season 6. The only reason I put season 6 over 5 is because of the final episode. Because the final episode was so epic, puts that season a little bit above 5, but it's basically the same. I put them at the bottom. Yeah. It's so weird. Game of Thrones season 1 to 4 is such a good show.
Yeah, and it's pretty much a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece. And season 5 and 6 are so mediocre. They're not, compared to a lot of other shows, it's not like they're bad, but in some ways they are. Like it's so
Yeah.
inconsistent and boring, and some of the writing and directing and the way they structure episodes kind of falls apart, and it's like
The reason why I also put 6 is probably the least is because through 5 I didn't want to stop watching the show. Near like 5 or 6, I've straight up like thinking about never watching the show again. Like some of those episodes were just downright like boring. Like we were saying before, like rehashing so much. Like literally, probably half the episode was rehashing shit that happened. Literally, like the episode before that, and it was like, why? Why am I getting treated like almost like an idiot? Like, I can't imagine. I wouldn't buy it on DVD because what's the point?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching 7 episodes of the same shit. So
yeah, I agree. It seems like they blew up and then they kind of cater towards the general masses more now, and that kind of hurts it a bit.
yeah, I don't know. But anyways,
But that's what we thought. What did you guys think of season 6? Was it your favorite season or least favorite season or somewhere in between? Let us know in the comments, and let us know if you agree with us. But
yeah, leave a like button. And just so you know, this was just a really general like rehash of and us talking. It wasn't like us trying to go super in depth.
Yeah, we're not super
Yeah.
in-depth people.
Sam really just wanted to say rehash a bunch of times.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Anyways,
Anyways, guys, have a good one. We're clocking out for the day.
yeah.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.